What is up, everybody, on a Thursday night? Oh, I know. It's time for the Horror Barbecue, and we are so happy to have y'all with us as we are continuing on our journey, the horrific journey at that, of very awesome horror franchises. Last week we did the Scream franchise. Well, I said to my brother Mortimer over there, I said, it's time to do an independent horror franchise that is one of those things that won't go away as it is undead. So please bear with me this evening as I am working off of my phone because something is sucking the power from my computer, so I'm not able to run things as I normally would.
It's not me this time.
Right.
I'm not running those experiments right now. The lab that's not me this time.
Dun, dun,
Just
dun.
so you know.
Damn it, Morty.
Not this time.
Not this
I've done it before. But I got struck by lightning in that occasion, if you remember.
Absolutely.
That'll teach me to hold an antenna between my legs during a thunderstorm.
That's no fun whatsoever.
It was for a minute.
Yeah, right. Until the initial fun wore off.
Right.
But if you are a vampire lover, there is a franchise that started in 1991 out of nowhere. Now, this is, in my opinion, one of the greatest vampire stories of the last 30 years. And it actually kind of like expanded also into the 2000s as well. So it's a little franchise we are very passionate about. If everyone remembers Radu the Vampire, famously of the Subspecies franchise. So we're going to go through all 5. Well, technically 6 because there was one spinoff. But it also kind of fits together. And we'll explain all that as we get into this wonderful, wonderful, horrific franchise. Before we do that, let's take a quick commercial break to our brother over at Poison Valley Scareware. It's time to wear the scare. Check it out. Hell yeah. If you're looking for the latest and greatest in customized scareware, get y'all's asses over to poisonvalleyscareware.com and check out all the new designs that David's got going over there. Have an original idea that you would like to put on your body? He can draw it up for you over at poisonvalleyscareware.com. All right. This is the time. Share this shit out. Anywhere and everywhere there is a vampire or horror lover, particularly on Subspecies. So be sharing this out for us as we appreciate that shit more than you know. So, man, you know, we Morty and I were just talking about in some of our somewhat younger years how we kind of came upon this franchise. This was not one of those where, you know, you could go to actually you could, but we didn't know it existed because not every classic video store had it, whether it was Family Video or if it was Blockbuster or something like that. Right. This was as indie gets. That's why I'm so excited to discuss this franchise with all of our addicts out there. So I can remember late at night, somewhere in the 1 to 3 a.m. or maybe it was, possibly 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. as I'm getting ready to go to school and pop on the USA channel. Uh, as you know, that they used to play some great, great films super late when no one's up. And
Yep.
happened to come across, Radu. And I believe it was the first film. And it absolutely drew me in. I mean, look at this guy. This is not your typical vampire. It's like Fabio, Nosferatu, and
A little The Cure.
there we go. A little bit of The Cure in there got together and had an illegitimate love child, and you get Radu Vladislas, the vampire, the main vampire that the franchise is centered around. And I thought he was nothing like I had seen. Not your traditional Dracula. There was nothing up to that point that could even come close to how this vampire looks. And he's just badass all the way around. If I can get to the comments. Yeah. There we go. What's up, Luna Projects and everybody else that's out there? I'm going to try to get to your comments as they come in. I am on my phone this evening because for whatever reason, Wi-Fi doesn't want to work on my computer. It's not running smoothly, so I'm on my phone.
Well, Justin tells us that he is excited for this episode, though he enjoys Subspecies franchise. Radu is his favorite vampire.
Oh, without a doubt. This is one of those, what I like to call anti-hero style kind of franchises because you're rooting for the worst motherfucker that is in the whole film. And,
True.
We end up feeling for him at times too, because
exactly. Yeah.
How is it that, any one vampire can be completely staked, beaten, shot, decapitated, you name
stabbed a good few times.
Stabbed quite a few times, had taken a sword to him. I mean, this guy shoved various sharp implements into his face, or the sunlight for that matter.
Yeah, I was going to say sunlight thrown off the side of a castle. Yeah. He's had a time, folks.
How many vampires can honestly say that they've come back like a cat?
Exactly, right?
You know what I'm saying?
John Schultz there in our comments is my cousin and the hangman of Farwater for the Legend of Bloody Bones.
Hell yeah. Good to see you. Good to see you. Appreciate that.
Nate made it.
Hey, what's up, Nate, man? Thank you for joining in, and you keep keeping on nice and strong there. We know you're not in your favorite dwelling, so we really appreciate you coming in and checking it out. Totally appreciate that shit. So yeah, it's there's nothing pretty about Radu at all. Is he badass? Abso-fucking-lutely.
Oh yeah. He to me is a constant hungry vampire.
Oh yeah, it never stops.
Like even if he just fed. That's the thing with Radu. Radu's never satiated.
Oh yeah. He's like, hey, you got that shit on tap? Give me some.
And we also must make a point too on his voice, that the actor that we're definitely will be getting into throughout this gave him, it's like, try to think of charming and sadistic lines through like gargled glass in some points with the way his voice is, but it works.
Yeah.
And you can't imagine Radu sounding any other way.
Oh, it's there's so many different dimensions. Before I continue my comment, though, I want to make sure we take notice of Dustin's here. Radu is a great medium between the sinister and scary vampires out there. Love his look, powers. You can't keep your eyes off him performance-wise. That is so true. So
yeah,
true.
100%. 100%, because it's like it's like what Dustin was saying too. You get to see throughout the franchise him doing supernatural vampiric things, but a lot of them in kind of different ways than you would traditionally, would see or have seen already. Which, but yeah, he commands the screen. I mean, that's the thing that you got to give him the nod. That's like Christopher Lee. It's like when Christopher Lee's Dracula is on screen, you're locked in. You're not getting away, and he does this exactly the same kind of way for Radu.
Oh, most definitely. It's like any
Yeah.
given moment, he can sound like he is the grandpa that kind of speaks like this,
Yeah.
and as he's referring to his fledgling, and the next minute he's sarcastic as hell, and then
Yeah.
he can in a kind of a polite way of saying, I'm going to kick your ass and you are going to be done,
Yeah.
and
Pretty
laugh,
much.
and then
Yeah.
turn around and give you his pissed off. So there's like multiple levels, and
See,
I think
to
that's
me,
one of the things that really brings the character
no, it's like, okay, if you don't go by like face appearance,
Mhm.
me, he is the first Lestat.
Oh yeah, he's definitely all about himself, power
Yeah,
hungry.
he's a vampire prince that wants it all and doesn't care who gets in his way.
Oh,
It's
absolutely.
throughout centuries of, it's like he'd been around for a minute, is an ancient vampire, and he's a hungry boy.
Oh yeah, he is no spring chicken.
Yeah.
But we're going to be talking about the first one here, which is just fucking epic. So, if you notice, there's a bunch of tiny little guys
Yeah.
carrying the body of said victim, and we got Radu off in the distance. Um, that is kind of the first little Easter egg there, because originally the title of this film refers to those little guys, which was something I learned after the fact, after I
Right.
had seen the first one like multiple fucking times, because I
Right.
loved it
Right.
so much. Um, yeah, so the actual subspecies are these little demonic, figures, which I feel they brilliantly used
Oh
in
yeah.
this film as the minions that dwell within Radu.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you want to,
100%.
yeah,
Yeah.
if you want to give them a little bit more on that.
Well, okay, you have, which, as Reaper had said, they're stop motion and rod puppets to make the subspecies, which if Radu loses a certain or body part, not even really a certain one, they can emerge to help protect him, do his bidding, put him back together. You name it. It's like you've never seen a vampire that literally has a crew of little impish, like
Nope.
demon things that do
Can
that for
help
him.
him, free him,
Yeah,
do
and
things for him, do his dirty work.
for the initial design, it was humans in suits that were kind of shot how the mini ashes were in Army of Darkness.
Correct.
And it just didn't give the right kind of vibe that the director wanted. So they went to the stop motion puppets that were from a project that Charles Band hadn't gotten off the ground called the Subterraneans. And then you ended up getting them as a subspecies. And I think that was a brilliant way to take something that hadn't, didn't pick up speed in one direction, but you were able to add it to one of your iconic films for Full Moon and their series of films that really got people paying attention to them.
Right. Absolutely. And again, I think the stop motion puppets for these guys really was more effective because they truly looked mindless. They
Yeah.
did nothing but exist just for Radu.
Yep.
And how can we go wrong with this first one? It starts off with the almighty, the legendary Angus Scrimm as
Mhm.
the Vampire King, or the
Yeah,
father of Radu and his brother,
which I
Stefan.
love. First, yes, Stefan. Which I
Stefan.
love that. I love that touch there, though.
Oh, it was perfect.
You know, because it's Angus Scrimm, and you'll get that nobility. He's one of those actors that could convey it,
Mm-hmm.
even with dealing with Radu, who who's like a buzzsaw with fangs.
Right.
It's like he's a biter.
I was gonna
He's a
say all
biter.
bite, no bark.
Well, no, I've got bark, but he's a biter. But I
Oh, for
loved
sure.
Angus coming in there. But also too, we got to give them this, which is easy. They filmed mostly, almost this entire series, most of the time in Romania, in actual castles and stuff. So you get atmosphere like it's nobody's business through the entire franchise.
Oh yeah.
So you
You took
can't
that.
beat that.
Nope, you took that right out of my brain, because that's where I was going next. I was gonna say
I was
that
only digging a little bit,
just a
just
little.
a little bit.
Director Ted Nicolau, he's one of those guys that if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it right.
Right. Yeah,
He's like,
exactly.
I'm gonna use live locations. We have all these Romanian castles that are in
Yeah.
ruin,
Yeah.
and they were able to get it for pennies on the dollar. That's
Yep.
the whole thing, if
Yep.
you're shooting over in some of these countries, because honestly, our money stretches much bigger.
Yeah,
Over
they do
there
it. They do
compared
it
to
now
their
for a
home.
lot of TV shows and series and Marvel
Mm-hmm.
movies too and stuff. It's cheaper to shoot over in these other countries, especially if
Yep.
you're trying to get desert terrain or terrain that looks like you're in another planet, things like that. So, or big
And
giant
a
battles and
lot
stuff.
of actors and actresses that are from there,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
actually speak the language and
Yep. Yep.
have the accent. You know, uh,
Right. Yeah.
there's this beautiful scene in the film, because it's there's this group of girls that are coming from the university, from the U.S., coming over there to do research on the Vladislas legend. Kind of like their version of Dracula or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty much. Yeah. Well,
So,
Vladislav, it's like that's a nod
mhm.
100% to Vlad the Impaler.
Right. Which is so perfect.
Right? Yeah,
And
no, yeah.
what a legend! What a story! I mean, it's probably the most creative story that had nothing to do with Bram Stoker.
That's
Uh,
true. That is true. Yeah.
you
Yeah,
know
no,
what I mean?
I
You,
agree with that. It went its own way completely,
yeah.
just
So
off
you,
the basis of an old warlord from Romania that hero, villain, whatever. But they didn't even cross into the I crossed oceans of time to find you.
nope,
They didn't, they
none of
didn't do
that
none
shit.
of that.
Nope.
Yeah. Yeah.
He mated with. There's two different mothers.
Yeah.
He mated with a witch, which gave birth to Radu, which he's considered the abomination. And then
Right.
you have Stefan, who looks normal but is still a vampire. He's just like his father.
He's a
So,
pretty boy.
right.
Let's see how it is. It's like Radu's the goth kid in the family, and Stefan's the preppy kid.
Yes.
He's dead. He's little goody two shoes.
But
Radu just likes to
yeah,
party.
I agree with Dustin there. He's like so friggin' good. The village and all that stuff. As a matter
Oh
of
yeah,
fact, they catch them doing the ancient village celebration, where they all put on masks. It's kind of like their, I don't know, not real. I wouldn't say their version of Halloween or anything like that, but it's a particular day where they mark that they have dominion over vampires, and they will go around the graves, and any fresh graves, they'll take big spear stakes and just ride around and stake them in all the graves. which is
I
a
only had that
real
happen.
life.
Yeah, I
It's a
only had
real
that
life
happen
celebration.
times. So,
What's
but you
that?
just, well, I've only had that happen a couple times, but then I just had Ophelia come and she'll just pull the spikes out. So, yeah, but
Lick
it's
your
annoying.
wounds, you know.
It's annoying, but but we don't knock anybody's festivals there, so it's like,
No,
all right,
no, not
it's
at
okay.
all. And
I can sew it back up. It's fine.
as I understand it, they still celebrate that particular celebration festival, whatever you want to call it, to this very day. And they also did what is their version of a funeral procession. Like
Right, right.
everything in this film is legit from start to finish.
Yeah, yeah. Well, no, yeah, exactly. But that's kind of the thing. It's the same. See, and I know it was Holman, and I know they'd love to hear this too, though. Is
Oh, of course.
with these series of films, it reminded me more in parts of the old Hammer films
Yes,
because there's a lot more blood than you would,
there's
And
a
I mean,
lot
it's
of
a
nods
vampire
there.
movie, but during the time frame that it's coming out, even in the '90s, you didn't get the blood and the gore at parts
Mm.
that you get with this series. They brought it
Oh,
every film.
they
You
they
know.
upped they upped the blood game probably more than any other film up to that point.
No, I would agree.
There's so much of it. I swear, literally gallons they went through.
Oh yeah, yeah. See, and I love that. And it's like for me, they are very. It's like okay, it reminds me of like certain like game studios, right? Like you have like Bethesda, all these big different game studios have. Oh, we have this. This is a certain big title franchise that everybody knows, so it's guaranteed money that people, It's like cornerstones, like for Bethesda's Fallout.
Hmm.
Subspecies for me is one of Full Moon's for sure.
It's
You
their
know,
legacy.
yeah, it's there with Puppet Master and films
Hmm.
like that. And it's like, okay, we've got your killer puppets over here. We've got your demonic toys, all that kind of stuff. But when you want to handle a vampire film, all you really need is Subspecies. They'll cover a good bit of that
Yes,
hunger.
absolutely. And it's their like I said, basically their legacy. When somebody hears
Yeah.
Full Moon, the first thing they say is, subspecies, puppet master, or demonic toys.
Yep.
And they've done some other good stuff too,
Oh
but
no, I agree. I agree.
you
But it's
know,
it's it's the beginning foundation that led them to the other good films that they were able to do.
mhm,
It's why they're still around.
right, exactly.
You know.
Um,
So,
so with this story, as it goes, that the vampires and the villagers made peace with each other. They wouldn't come down and feed on the village, and the villagers would not go up there and try to kill them. And all because of this thing called the Bloodstone, which is said to have the blood of the saints in it, and it's basically vampire crack.
yeah, pretty much. It's to me. I gathered it. It's exactly. It's a relic that will forever drip blood. The vampires can feed off of it endlessly without killing anybody.
Exactly, and it doesn't take much. It's like a drop or two.
Yeah, because exactly, it's like super powered plasma in there, and they're just, oh yeah, that's a good stuff. Hey man, that'll make you batty. I want it. I want it. So, you got to watch out for that. But
Right?
exactly though, it's like I don't even know what you would say. It's like their holy grail.
It is. But unfortunately, everybody wants to get their hands on it, but dear old daddy, uh, Angus Scrimm,
Boy.
wants, right? Exactly. Wants to keep it for himself. And of course, that is Radu, who wants it.
Mhm.
And he knows Radu is never to have it because he's not only going to possess that, but he's still going to go out and feed and create more vampires.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
was
exactly.
dear old dad, the king's idea of the future. So, of course, what does Ra do? He takes his dad out.
Yeah.
Uh, and this is this is probably going to be a new hashtag for this show. Hashtag snap fingers, because you know um, the king hits this button and a box prison comes down on top of Radu, and Radu's just giving him that. Oh yeah,
I'm
are
gonna
we
get
really
you,
doing this right
Daddy.
now? You
Yeah.
can't stop me. And just that's when we see him snap his fucking fingers off. Now, mind you, again, his hands, like the prosthetics, are probably this far out from
Yeah.
his actual
Yeah.
fingers, which are
Oh
great.
yeah.
I love that. I love that
Yeah.
vampire
It's a
bat
nice
style.
touch to him. Yeah.
Hmm.
Makes him more predatory
Hmm.
to me, because he's got those extended fingers that got to be at least as long as a normal person's fingers.
And
And then
that's
you got those at least like almost inch long claws or more coming off of the end of them. So yeah, he's got those. Come here, I'm trying to grab your arms.
right.
Yeah,
And then out pop the subspecies
yeah.
from the blood that comes out of his
Yeah,
fingers.
ooze out of the wounds and literally form out of the blood. It was a beautiful effect, especially for its time.
Hmm.
Because it's like if you didn't have Ray Harryhausen doing your stop motion most of the time, you're gonna
Hmm.
be in big trouble. They
Right.
did a beautiful job with that. It worked. It added so much to Radu and the story on whole because you've never seen another vampire do that.
No, they don't. They don't have their
I've
vampire
never seen
within
that minus with Radu. Yeah.
them.
Yep.
So, and he's just still standing there, just smiling at his dad, like you're about to get fucked up, old man. And sure as shit, them
Yeah.
subspecies run over and let his ass out, and therefore killing his father, and takes the throne for himself. Now,
Yeah.
meanwhile, these four ladies are getting ready to check out the scene, and their tour guide happens to be a villager, and Stefan shows up for the first time, um, as he hangs out where this boarding house is, that they're staying in, and
Hostile. It's
you
hostile.
know yeah, there you go. Exactly. And it's this place, this film is not without its cliches.
Oh
Obviously,
yeah. Yeah.
one of the
Yeah.
ladies is enamored by Stefan the moment she lays eyes on his, uh, um, what's that guy's name? Richard Marx. Look at Richard
Yeah.
Marx looking
Yeah.
motherfucker. She's just like, ha, he, ho, ho.
Well, maybe it was vampiric awe.
I mean, there's
Because he's got
machismo there.
that Radu, he's got the opposite. He's got the
Oh
oh
yeah.
my god, what the hell is that thing? But Stefan's, hey, how you doing? Hey, I look like a normal guy. You want to go to play tennis?
Well, and it's one of those things where it's like these gals wouldn't have had hell brought down upon them if they didn't go up to the castle. Uh,
Yeah, yeah.
and,
It,
and
it,
old
it is.
Radu, he'll wake up at any time of day. He's like, supper, lunch, okay. The one gal sticks her arm in there, and what did you think was going to happen?
Type A, type B. He doesn't really
Right? He's like,
care.
Radu's like, I got to sample this. I need to take a
Right?
sample. And he just can't get enough. And then, of course, as a great vampire warlord would do, he goes and tries to find out where they're all hanging out, because if there's one, there's got to be more. And he
Oh
sees them
yeah.
all.
Oh yeah. Snacks on the go, 100%. Yeah.
One of my favorite scenes was when they were running through the woods after they fell asleep conveniently on the grass outside the
Well,
castle,
well,
and they
yeah.
wake up and it's dark time and they're trying to get back.
Like, well, the time we shouldn't be going around the woods is, near a vampire legend house and stuff.
Yeah,
At night.
I mean, we're in vampire country. We should
Right?
not be going through these woods.
That is
uh
Vampire Hunter 101. That's day
exactly.
one stuff.
Right. So
Night one.
that whole sequence is great because Radu is doing the I fly and stalk your ass.
Right.
And that was one of the other things that I thought was very genius about this film is when he flies, it's more like a shadow that takes off. And
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
so much more believable.
Yeah, I really did enjoy that. And when Dustin was saying about the stuff that he would do and his abilities and stuff, and that
Mm-hmm.
was for me too, as we, hold his hands up and then the shadow goes up on the wall and then it's gone and he's gone. Yeah, it's like the shadows flying, he's teleporting.
Right.
So yeah.
So, hey, what's up there, Austin, from the Horror Night podcast, which I will be a guest on, I believe, July the 16th, as we had to reschedule. But you'll be looking for that in the future. Glad to have you.
Yeah.
And welcome back, Nate, as well. Whole lot of people
Can't
being
stay
welcome
away
back
from us, brother.
We're so happy. Yes, you can't stay away. So, and of course, Radu sets his sight on all the women, and well, just like any vampire machismo guy, godfather, whatever you want to call him, is going to basically steal them all. And he does that in epic fashion. So, and of course, Stefan, the brother, is trying to stop him, thwart his plans, and all that shit. And it becomes an epic battle. And this is where we see Radu, meets his end in the very first one. And you're like, well, there's no way he can come back after that.
Gotta pay attention.
That's right. Because, they don't leave any stones unturned. Right. The epic subspecies come back into play after he is beheaded. And bring his head back to his body. And then all of a sudden it just reattaches itself. This is supernatural to the max.
Right? It's like what happens when you take a really, really powerful undead, what's the word I'm looking for? Sorceress.
Right.
And she gets it on with the Vampire King.
That's one of the most intriguing things about their family history is that he mates with this crazy witch that gives birth to Radu, and of course Radu's gonna be a little bit more special.
Oh yeah. And then that's the thing too. I really enjoy that because you get that with him. It's like him and Stefan are polar opposites 100%.
Hashtag Stefan.
Right.
I can't help it. It's such a great name.
Well, you can always go Stefan Vodislas.
Right. And that right there pretty much tells you that they're setting up for a sequel because what vampire's eyes reopen after its head is off its shoulders? Come on. So without further ado, I want to show everybody out there in the Black Flame universe that if you have not seen this, let the trailer speak for itself. Check it out.
In the dark past, humans were their prey, and blood was their life.
I'm Radu. Find him before killing begins again.
Now in modern-day Transylvania, eternal evil has reawakened.
I'm afraid for you. She makes me want again. I must destroy him.
Subspecies, starring Michael Watson and Angus Scrimm of Phantasm. The night has fangs.
Now that, ghouls and gals out there, demons and addicts alike, is how a trailer is done. It gives you just enough of what you could expect. It's got everything. It's got tons of blood, all kinds of dismemberment,
Production
realism.
value for days.
Oh my God.
It's like the settings and stuff. You couldn't.
Oh my goodness.
It would take too much to try to recreate that, and it'd look fake.
Right. I think I may or may not have mentioned sword fighting. Stakings. There's
you get vampire sword play before Underworld.
Right. And just epic fights with the vampire brides as well, trying to take out everybody that's trying to save the gals, and here they are, 3 of them are vampires.
Well, I mean, you know
they all die.
Well, you know how Radu is. I mean, any
sure, he's a ladies' man.
Exactly. I mean, it's like he's over there, he's kind of what's that word? I'm trying to think about it. He should have like his own program on TLC on all of his brides. Right. That's kind of how Radu works. It's like, oh, I was attached to her. Oh, there's another bride. Come here, lovely. And he's just stacking them up because that's Radu's way.
Mm-hmm.
He's a lady killer. You gotta watch out.
Obviously he saw something in basically the lone survivor of this group,
Michelle. Yeah.
Michelle, correct. And he is just so super fond of her, protective, wants to show her, that they can rule the earth together.
Right.
And she's just not about it whatsoever.
I mean, it takes a couple hundred years to get to know your vampire other. I mean, it's
right.
It's not something that's going to happen over a couple nights. I mean, your transformation into the undead is usually a couple nights, but I mean, other than that.
Well, and I mean, in her case, it was just like, you know what I mean?
Well, he's kind of potent. You know what I mean? He's a special case because he's not a normal vampire.
Right. Which brings us into the sequel, Subspecies 2, The Bloodstone. Because at this point, it's kind of like a game of supernatural hot potato. Who's got it? Where's it going? It changes hands multiple times. And now we're starting to get the polizia involved.
Oh, yeah, which is always fun to try to explain. Oh, yeah, no, I was fighting these vampire. They turned to dust. They were here a minute ago. They were here and
right.
Okay, I've got to be somewhere. I got to talk to a man about a fish. I'll be back. Thank you. It's you can't explain those kind of situations.
No. And one of the best, scenes was, I just imagining the looks on those poor housekeeping gals in the hotel that finds Michelle because she realizes, oh, I can't be sleeping in the bed anymore. I need absolute darkness.
Right. That whole not breathing thing kind of gives you away with the whole undead.
It gives you away that you basically look like a cadaver, and they find Michelle in the bathtub. All the while, Michelle is trying to reach out to her sister, for help, because, I mean, you're over there on a field trip from school, and, well, look what happened. You became a vampire bride.
You got bit by an ancient, really ticked off vampire that likes to just drain anybody he cuts around. So
and take over, with the idea of taking over the world. So it's like,
he's got goals.
Turn. Yeah, he sure does, and he's knocking them out one by one.
Right. And see, for this one too, for the sequel, it's in 1993, so it's not that long after, because Radu hit pretty quickly for people. Mm-hmm. He really started to key into people are like, oh, I like that. And it's like for the second one, you've got to where they're like he was saying, you're upping the effects. And the effects are always great. They've never lacklustered on their effects, on their production value, and
Everything practical.
everything practical in the movies and stuff. It's I've always loved and admired them for that.
Oh yeah.
But it's for this one too. It's like he's saying the stakes are getting upped because it's this. Everybody wants the bloodstone. Exactly. Every single person wants it. So it's kind of,
sure, because some people are like, oh, this belongs in a museum. Oh, this is, something that is priceless. And then, of course, to the vampires, it's crack.
Right. It's like, I
And
can
then-
roll all of you with this, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
Dustin, I agree with your comment as well. He says, I think the slow burn works for the suspense in this one. Exactly. There was a lot more character development. We're going through Michelle with new eyes, a new life, which, by the way, the original Michelle did not come back for this one. And I don't know too many franchises where you could suddenly switch actresses and it works.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree on that. But she did. It's like she had the emotional range that was needed for what her character was going through.
Yeah.
And she stepped into the character really well, and it didn't lose a beat. And it's nothing against the first actress either. She did great, and it's like there wouldn't have been a sequel, if they didn't do good in the first one. But it's like, it's like she stepped right in and was able to play that character really well.
Yes, Denise Duff is her name.
Yeah.
And she will hang around for the next 3 films. So definitely she embodies the vampiric character of Michelle because number one, God damn, the girl can cry through an entire film and never miss a beat.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Then she can turn on my animalistic side is suddenly coming out and I need to feed. Especially, and I love the cast for this because, or not the cast, but the production crew. One of the guys on the production crew has a heavy metal band.
Yeah.
And there's a scene in the film where Michelle suddenly walks into this metal club, which is just fucking badass. There's a great band playing. And guess what? It's the crew members' band that's playing. Where she takes on a young metalhead just out, for a drink and some headbang and didn't realize that he was about to get fanged instead.
Well, she was just
See what
looking
I did
for
there?
She was looking for a Bloody Mary. That's all. He didn't get her drink order the first time.
Yeah,
so
they fucked it up, right?
And then actually, I think it was let me see, was it a Bloody Mo or something like that? I'm not sure. But a girl's got a drink,
Mm-hmm.
It's like she's got to bring back her corpuscles.
Well, and then we have the introduction of some iconic new characters for the film. We have the great Pamela Gordon, who is the witch mummy, who lurks beneath in the family crypt, which is like her home. And it's amazing. Literally fucking amazing. First of all, her makeup job. We're talking about 6 to 8 hours in the chair every day, making this lady into.
Oh, she's gorgeous.
Oh my goodness, the special effects guys did just a bang up job on her, literally. There we go. She is horrific. She is basically a corpse that is still alive, still magical, and can still kick ass.
Yeah, no, exactly. It's like his mama was a necromancer.
Right.
And it's like, exactly. It's like, it made me think of that. And it reminded me, which is funny. I at the time, I'm not actually sure which one I saw first, but I'm leaning towards this. It reminded me when they did an episode of Tales from the Crypt and they show his parents. They show the Crypt Keeper's parents.
Right.
And his mama was a living mummy. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, literally. And it's like, and that was kind of the thing there is it's like, you don't ever you don't ever get that with the vampire story where it's like, no, like when they say the term like hag, they mean it. They mean it, you know, it's she don't mind it, you know, she admits it.
Yeah, it's like, you know, what other type of mother greets her son by taking a slice or a bite out of him just to taste the blood because, you know, he's been sipping on
Right,
you
you
know,
know.
the bloodstone, and then of course, you know, he drank his dad, and she absolutely hates the king. And now that he's dead, she is just happy as a pig in shit.
Oh
But
yeah.
you throw a little thing like a progeny in the mix, and suddenly, you know, she gets a little territorial, and
Right.
basically wants to have her be gone. Um, and you know, everything from the U.S. Embassy guy, Kevin Spiritus, Michelle's sister, Melanie Shatner, hopefully not a relation to William. Uh, you never know. But and then of
Right.
course Lieutenant Marin, the comic relief of the century. What
Yeah.
a guy! Pulls it off effortlessly. It's fan-fucking-tastic. And then, of course, you know, he meets his end again in epic fashion.
Every time. And that's the thing is each one of these films, you know, to tell the demons is it's like it literally they go once when one ends, the next one starts from where it ended.
Literally picks up like it's
It picks right up where
like
they
2
were.
seconds later.
Yeah, it's not 5 years later, 10 years. You don't get any of that with this at all.
Mm-hmm.
And most series won't do that. You know, they
No,
don't because they don't have that long of a story projected arc.
right?
And it's like, you know, they had some plans for Radu, I felt quite a bit, you
Oh
know.
yeah, and it was really coming to a head in part 3. I feel like,
Mhm.
you know, with all the character development and stuff that they did
Yeah.
with the second one. Shit, did I not grab it? Oh, I'm gonna be so mad. There's 2. There it is. Got it. Dun dun dun. Called Bloodlust. And you know, this film is everything that embodies bloodlust. Everyone's being killed in magnificent, delicious ways.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, yeah. Very much so. Yeah.
Epic fight between Progeny and her new mother-in-law. And
Yeah.
she is the one that, you know, puts the boots to Radu to try to sever that tie. And it's like, well, even though you killed him, you're still a vampire. There's no escaping your dark fate. It just, you know,
Right.
it just doesn't work like that in the subspecies universe. So, but just that whole sequence in the crypt, and they actually go back to the castle of Ladislas, and just epic moments there. Epic
Well, it's
fucking.
like I took a lot of like decoration tips and stuff
Oh
because
yeah.
her crypt was gorgeous. You know, I loved it.
Oh yeah. She
It
kept
was
it
a
great
little
too.
well, I mean, it was a little bloody for me because sometimes over time it gets a little sticky, and I'm all dusty, so I don't want to stick to a chair and just be stuck there. It's like it'll take me forever to get off that thing. So,
Well,
but
not to
other than
mention you
that,
don't know who it is from time to time. It could be, you know, half a dozen other people. Whose blood am I on now? You know?
exactly, you know, and it's like, oh, you know, it's like, oh, what happened to Harry? Oh, I'm sitting in him. Right. It's like that's
Exactly.
him all over, you know. Yeah.
Like, damn,
So
I
it's
didn't even get to say goodbye.
barely knew him, you know. But it's like, yeah,
Oh,
you get the battle, you really get the fever pitch start to pick up for the third one. You really do.
hmm
Starts to just amp itself up.
and so much so that I thought that it would be great to show the trailer for that one because if you weren't if you weren't hanging too tough with the sequel, the third one brings it all together. Check it out.
An innocent in a spell of evil. Seduced by a vampire
Until the end of time.
who will stop at nothing to possess
You promised you would teach me everything.
his prey,
Reach out with your senses.
body, and soul.
Take him.
Now, to save her sister,
You're so cold. You're dead.
a woman will enter a world beyond her worst nightmares.
There is no love between the living and the dead.
Blood.
I mean, you got to feel for poor Radu getting dropped off the top of the castle. He's on fire. He's been killed for the third time now, and in even more horrific ways. But I mean, you got shootouts and car chases, car wrecks. I mean, just
break.
It's action packed. This film. It kind of felt like they got all the character development that was going to be out of the way in the second one. So by setting it up for the third one, you know that you're about to get your ass stomped with bad assery, if you could not tell from that. And one of the things I absolutely loved about it in this one is how, this is the one where he's actually trying to teach Michelle how to use her gifts.
Yeah, how to use her powers.
He's a good daddy.
Well, I mean, she is a quick learner. I mean, she does get going on it pretty quick.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But if you had somebody like that, coach,
oh yeah.
Eat them. Yeah, okay, dude. Hey.
Well, again, very epic trailer. I love the way they kind of use the old Universal black and white way of doing trailers where, they're explaining certain things throughout, little, tidbits here and there. I love that old school way of doing trailers. I wish they would still do it to this day.
Yeah.
They don't. They don't do it at all.
In a place and time in Romania.
Right.
This vampire love affair.
But you got to see a little bit of Radu's softer side,
right?
In this,
like if which Radu does, how he basically sees love and stuff like that as a weakness, and she's his weakness. She's developing to become his weakness.
Mm-hmm.
But it's that I must have you kind of thing. It's that compulsion that he brings into it from the Dracula kind of vibe of vampire.
Oh, absolutely.
It's like, I want you forever. It's like, no, it's not. It's like, not one date. We're going to date for eternity. You're going to fight a lot of people.
You're mine.
Yeah.
Now, one of the cool things that never really happens, there was a spin-off unofficial sequel called
Vampire Journals.
Thank you, Vampire Journals, in which the head vampire in this scenario happens to be one of Radu's progeny.
Yeah.
And he is known as the music lover. And he's got this Uh-huh.
Save his
And
own.
he's got this vampire casino thing going.
Right.
But yet there's this rogue vampire that's hell-bent on not staying a vampire or even wanting to be because he hates his existence and tries to steal the vampire hunting sword known as the sword of Laertes. It's like supposed to be the mother of all vampire weapons.
Yeah.
And I mean, he does get it, but
Mhm.
again, an excellent fucking story. Just so creative, so decadent. Um, Live locations, an impeccable cast, which bleeds into Subspecies 4, if I can get it to pop up. There we go. Known as Bloodstorm. So
I
after,
love the poster work for each one of the films.
isn't
I
that
really
awesome?
do. Yeah. I really enjoyed how they did that because that's the other thing there for a lot of our, our younger
Yeah.
addicts and things there, like we were saying before last time, it's like the video stores, Blockbuster, things like that, your local video haunts, you'd see
Mhm.
these posters or these front covers of these like indie horror films. And if you weren't, you didn't see them on cable or stuff like that, you could
Right.
see them like, oh, I see that. Oh, what's that? And those were burned into your head, and it's a lot of these films, like they'll stay with you like that. And it's like, oh, I didn't know was going to fall in love with this vampire series until, you
Yeah,
see it.
exactly. Well, I mean, now Radu finds himself in a very strange predicament.
He's good at that.
His mummy is gone. She's been destroyed, eradicated.
Yeah.
He can't go back to Castle Vladislas, so he's got a little heat on him. But at the same time, he's trying to find Michelle. His progeny has run away again. Naughty, naughty vampire girl.
Yeah, it's like, it's not just that whole, and they come a running, it's not,
No, but
she's got a whole
well,
mind of her own,
see, that's she does, but there is still the if he calls to her, that
Oh,
vampire
yeah.
link, she feels compelled to go to him,
Oh, yeah.
but he's got no clue where she's at because he can't feel her. The whole link thing.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, so he goes into another place that is full of multiple chambers. This thing is like an old relic vampire bunker, I guess
Yeah,
is what
pretty
you would
much.
call
Yeah.
it. And there is the music lover. Him and one of his progeny are there, and he's been amassing wealth, and he just got over the whole thing that happened with in vampire journals. So he's
Mm-hmm.
underground too because his shit's been blown wide open.
Right, exactly. Yeah, that's the one thing him and Radu kind of have in common there is they're both kind of wanted
Right?
men. Yeah,
Exactly.
but also, there's times in that too where they forget who the head vampire of that group
Exactly. And Radu reminds them
is.
who
Yeah,
the
he
big
does.
cheese is in epic fashion. He's like, I'm going to take the 4th level. Your fortune is now mine. He just starts
Yep.
just taking whatever the fuck he wants, like he's the mafia don of vampirism.
Yep. Yeah. You owe me 3 pints today, and I'll come back for the other 20.
Oh,
Yeah, that's
and by the
exactly,
way,
yeah.
I'm taking your progeny with me.
Right.
He just takes whatever the hell he wants.
Yep.
He's pissed off. He's like, man, I've lost so much over this damn bitch. I don't know what to do. So he starts taking
Yeah.
other people's shit.
Yep. Yep.
But lo and behold, Michelle makes it to a research facility.
Yes.
Didn't see that one coming.
No, did not. I agree. Yeah.
And it's a private, like, scientific research facility run by this kooky ass doctor.
It's not me, I
Uh,
promise. Go ahead.
no, go right ahead, man.
Oh no, as I was saying, you're right. It's like, but I'm not the kooky doctor. I didn't do that. It's not me. Or wasn't even in Romania at the time, so
Right.
just putting that out there.
Well, and apparently he had a penchant for vampirism in the country, knows the Vladislas whole thing, the whole 9 yards. And again, what's in play? The Bloodstone.
Yep.
Again, the Bloodstone is coveted, and this time it's a human wannabe a vampire scenario here. Or actually, yeah. Agrees to do some tests on Michelle in order to try to reverse her condition. Now, at first, some of us were probably thinking I'm not sure about this. This is kind of hokey. Now we're stepping into another, what do you call it? Shit. I forget the word.
Element of the sci-fi.
No. Hold on. I might be able to get. No, maybe not. Let me see here. I had it in my notes. Shit. Nope. No. Cliche. That's what I was looking for. Cliche. So we have another cliche. And
Right.
you don't know how this is going to go. And nobody knew that he was basically taking her blood to
Right.
transform himself. Now that was cool. Didn't
Yeah.
see that one
It was a
coming.
nice twist. Yeah.
And it was also kind of a cool twist too that when Radu shows up at the gates,
Yeah.
the doc kind of throws his weight around like he's King Dick of the vampires, and it's like, no, you're going to come in, but you cannot see her. You cannot have her. Like, what human is going to tell fucking Radu this, right?
Not a smart one.
He's like, I have a small army with guns.
Really?
But
Those
instead
whole
of guns,
things.
they have stakes. Professional ones.
See, I like A1 sauce myself with my steaks.
Right.
But it's like for Radu, that's the whole thing. For the type of vampire he is, and the what's the word? I want to passion and veracity that he brings to being a vampire. He's just so into it. Having a bunch of stakes and coming at him is like trying to literally throw toothpicks at him.
Well, I was going to say, don't you think at this point he's like, dude, I've been killed so many times.
It's like these little my little buddies will come crawling out of some hole that you made in me, and they're gonna put me right back together. We'll be here all night.
Exactly.
It's like I got somewhere to be in the morning, okay? Gotta go to bed.
And
on the
of
night shift.
course, he is not going to let up. He
Nope.
wants her back. He gets her back, takes her to this underground chamber, and thinks that they're, going to be together again and all this shit. And of course, Michelle's still like, I still want to turn on you.
Right.
Naughty vampire girl.
Well,
Shouldn't be doing
yeah.
this to your master. It's not cool.
Well,
but
she sticks to her guns, so it's like once
sure
that
the
thought's
shit
in her
does.
mind, she don't hold back. But it's like it's kind of the aspect too in it though, is you kind of realize that Radu kind of has moments where it's like maybe I was a little hasty with my sorceress mom.
Right.
I had a decent amount of backup when she was there, and
Right.
I kind of
Now
feel
I
like
have no
Norman
power.
Bates. Yeah, exactly.
He's clinging
took
on to the
away-
only thing he's got,
Yeah.
that he calls his birthright, But then we finally see the coup de grace in which human and vampire in cahoots
Yeah.
to take out Radu.
Well, you got the. I mean, he's that unpredictable loose cannon, and it's like even if he's in charge, we're all gonna have a really bad time. If he's in charge, and a lot of people are going to know there's vampires because he's just going to be dropping people left and right. And like he has no chill whatsoever. So yeah, that's like they want to get rid of him, put the ancient evil back to sleep, so to speak.
Right. I mean, first of all, the music lover, he's going to be like, this guy took my shit. He took my woman.
Right.
I don't care. I will help you kill this motherfucker so I can get his shit and take my shit back in the process.
My coffin is empty. He took
I'm
everything.
a little lonely.
He took the coins off my eyes, man.
My other shit's fucked up. And then this motherfucker comes in and fucks the rest of my shit up? No.
Right.
So they fucking get it. Radu is finally put down. So epic fucking battle. Excellent film. Now, here's the kicker. We heard for a while that there was going to be a 5th film. And of course, we were all just ready for this thing.
Yep.
And they began production right as COVID hit.
Yep.
And had to abandon the production.
Yep.
They were giving updates. They were letting us know that they were doing this, they were doing that. Of course, we had the great Anders Hove returning to his glory. But in a prequel?
Yep.
We fucking loved part 4 so much. We were all kind of thinking like part 5 is like Radu gets his immense revenge.
That's where I was headed myself for that one.
But instead, we got this Subspecies 5 Blood Rise. Now, mind you, I said, okay, this is going to tell the origin story of how Radu came to be.
Right.
More
of a retcon, really, than
they kind of just threw the original script idea out the window.
Yeah. Kind of, yeah.
Suddenly,
it really was kind of a swerve.
It was a huge swerve. Oh, Radu was a fucking priest guy that was fighting the war for his father.
Which I was gonna say on that end too, because it's like him being like for the original, it's like you said, he was called the Abomination. Because you have all these good-looking vampires, and then he comes out of the works, and it's like, oh, what the hell is that? And it's like, that's your son. You're shitting me, But in this, yeah, exactly. It's like it took all of that away, and it's like made it like the Crusades.
Dustin goes, do we have to talk about this?
Unfortunately, but yes.
He's like, such a misstep.
Agreed. Yeah.
It's like you had gold. You had the most original idea, creative idea for this lore of this vampire family.
Yeah.
And we all fucking loved it. We were so strong. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then, well, first of all, you wait too goddamn long. Your star fucking actor is going to be a little bit much older.
Yeah.
So that's one thing that's wrong. But then again, I was willing to go with it because I'm like, okay.
He's Radu. He can pull it off.
He's Radu, which means you're going to, prosthetic the fuck out of his face again. And it's going to be great.
Right.
Ah,
His
so
his makeup could have been better.
well, sure, and they did it in stages too.
Yeah.
They didn't do it all right away, but that's the whole point, though. The
Right.
whole point is with the new story, and this is an origin story that doesn't exist. Because it really doesn't. Maybe they thought, oh, no one really watched the first four, so
Right. Yeah,
so
that was
nobody
the thing
knows
that
the
I didn't
tale,
get.
right?
Yeah, it's like what Dustin's saying that it was a misstep because it really was a misstep for what you had led up to. It's like you said, we were
Yeah.
waiting to watch Radu just paint the walls,
Oh, it could
and
have been. It could have been great. They could have had the demon sorceress, and obviously the poor Angus Scrim had passed on by that point.
Mhm.
So they could have had another guy fill the slot, as a younger version of him. Um,
Yeah, they can.
and
Yeah, I don't know why they decided to make him look like that. And it's like,
yeah,
okay, the mama was supposed to be the messed up looking one. He's supposed to be this attractive vampire king. And
right.
now, for some reason, he looks like Uncle Creepy out of the magazines, it's like, it's like, I get you can't get Angus Scrim, but I guarantee you could find somebody, that
Somebody
could at
that
least
could
try
have,
to channel
yeah,
him, to that end, the vibe of the character, and not turn him almost into like a caricature of a drawing.
yes.
It was so
Oh, dude,
weird.
Dustin hit it on the money again. Easily could have had the star come back as an older Radu, one last ride, which would have been amazing. And that's
Agreed.
what we all thought we were gonna get.
Well, like beaten down from all the regenerating and all the battles and stuff that he's done trying to get Michelle and the Bloodstone.
Right.
Show the scars, of time, and it's like,
well, yeah, the motherfucker's been killed 4 fucking times.
Exactly. See, but I would have liked, like you said, I would have liked to see that took a toll on him.
It would have made sense,
Especially
because
without having his mother.
Yeah, his
You know,
makeup would have been a lot more grotesque.
Right.
Maybe he's missing a finger or two.
They could, well, yeah, but that's also too that they could have done. See, that would have been a neat effect there too. But it's
for
like
sure.
some of the stuff, even in parts, right? If they, and I hate to say this, but if they wanted to go digital for parts of his makeup as an ease for the actor and his age,
Oh yeah,
they
for
could
sure.
have
And by
blended
this
those
time, they could
together
have
where
done
there
it.
was
Yeah.
less makeup on him, for it, kind of thing like that.
I think they also made special concessions for Robert Englund at times also.
Yeah. Well, same with Kane. Kane's not made up as Jason underneath the hockey mask.
Correct.
Because, I mean, what's the point? You're just going to overheat him. He needs to be able to see, especially if he's doing a stunt with the other actors for safety reasons and stuff. And I get that. And it's like, but it's like for this one, like Dustin, you, me, it's like all of us that are like 100% the other films, it felt like a bait and switch. And I know they got setbacks and stuff because of everything shutting down and stuff, but
Right.
it's like
There was no reason to abandon the original idea.
yeah, they could have kept the original story to that end. And you also, by having Radu, you had the one actor that is the only consistent thing through the entire set of movies is him.
Correct. Him and Michelle.
No, exactly. But he's in every single one of them.
That's right.
He's the only one that's in every single one of them. And
Every
it's like
single one.
People are tuning in for the story, but they are mainly tuning in for him. They're tuning in for Radu.
I'm telling you right now, the only reason that anybody watched the 5th one was because they knew it was Anders Hove reprising Radu.
Yeah.
But in a very, I would just say, a demeaning kind of way.
It did. It felt like like you tried to wipe away a lot that him and the other cast members throughout the films had tried to build with the lore and everything struggle that this character had gone through.
Correct.
And then it's like everything's going to be a reboot or a prequel, and it kind of shoot yourself in the foot there when the guy is at least double the age he was from the last film.
Well, shit. Even Underworld didn't fuck up in that right when they did their prequel, The Rise of the Lycans.
Right.
They
Well,
had
they did it.
the right people, and yeah, obviously some of them were older, and they were still able to pull it off, and it was a fucking fantastic movie. Now,
Right.
when the shutdown happened, that was like the ultimate time for creativity. They
I agree. Yeah.
literally could have
Probably rewritten the
rewrit
entire
the whole script.
the whole
They could
screenplay.
have
Yep.
said, wait a minute, what are we doing? Why are we trying to tarnish such a legacy? So, in
Right.
my opinion, and my brother Mortimer here, and probably most of us out there in Black Flame Land could definitely say we don't really recognize part 5 as part
Yeah.
of the franchise because, let's face it ain't right.
Right. Yeah.
Sorry, Full Moon, your petty chance at trying to regain glory kind of failed miserably here.
On that one, it really did, and I don't blame the cast or anything
I
like
don't
that.
blame the cast at all.
But it's like that's the thing is it's like you can only do so much, and it's like you had already built up all this lore, all this story, all of this
Which was
character
brilliant.
growth.
Ironclad.
Yeah, and it's like they did the hard work for you already. Pick up from where it left off, like all the rest of the films have done, and
Right.
show how Radu wrecks them. Just
Oh my
wrecks them,
goodness.
Yeah,
he
and
was
people
the
would have
thing of
loved
nightmare.
it. Yeah, people would have loved it.
Not hiding out in a cave with his little bitch, whoever I can't even remember. That's how much I don't remember the 5th one. But I know he was hiding out in that cave with one of them bitches.
Or walking around like he's ready for the Crusades.
Right.
And the next time you see him, oh, look, he looks like a monk. Okay, how did we get the guy in the first film that is like dressed in black head to toe, pale as a ghost, sitting there grinning with fangs dripping blood out of his mouth, long fingernail? He came from
where was
like
the
a pissed off Friar
abomination
Tuck? It didn't do it for me with that. It's like
it's like they did half of his facial makeup. Half.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then forgot about the fingers.
Yeah, that's it. It's like I don't get it. It's like when films will do that, and it's like you don't care or paid attention to any of the series that came before the film that you're on.
Exactly.
And then it's like the fans are not going to be happy with that.
Well, and my other thing is, even if it was different writers, now the director was still the same.
Yep.
Mr. Nicolau.
Yep.
You want to tell us what you were thinking there, buddy?
I can only think he ran out of ideas, even though
he didn't have to be the writer, though. You know what I'm saying?
True. That's very true. But just still in that aspect, you'd have had to gotten somebody that had the feelings like we have for the first 4.
Oh my goodness. Okay, everybody out there in the Black Flame universe, watching 1 through 4, including the offshoot Vampire Journals. Those are the films that will captivate you and really suck you in. It's a solid story, solid characters, excellent fucking cast. Man, it's fantastic. If you want, we're not telling you don't watch number 5.
But watch at your own viewing peril.
We just kind of want you to know it might ruin your entire vision of the franchise.
It's like if you watch the sequel to Lost Boys and try to compare it to the first one, you're going to have a bad time.
It's like watching The Crow and then watching the reboot.
Yeah. I knew that one was coming. I set myself up for that one.
I only say that because it's free right now. Go figure.
And it's true, It's true.
But yeah, this was a indie vampire franchise that took the world by storm, became cult classics. There's
yeah.
nobody that is a horror fan that doesn't know Radu the vampire. So much that there are toys that you can still get of Radu the vampire. He is iconic amongst all of whatever the mainstream had to throw at us. He kind of like took that shit over and said, no, this is a real vampire.
Yeah.
So if you are a vampire fan, we urge you all to check out the franchise of Subspecies, especially 1 through 4. Because honestly, number 5 is kind of a 0 out of 0 for me. I'm sorry. Not sorry. Because they really dropped the ball. It was great to see Radu Anders Hove, the actor that has played him in all the films. It was great to see him again.
Agreed.
But I feel like they dumbed his ass down.
Yeah, they let him down.
Well, and I think
that's how I felt.
I think he probably was like, I need a paycheck.
Well, that could be it too.
I hate to say it. He's like, well, maybe we can fool everybody. You know what I mean? Because I mean, by this point, the guy's like what, in his 60s?
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. It's like yeah. He's up there.
Because I think he started playing Radu in his 40s originally.
Right. Yeah. I believe so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and also too, one of the films I forgot to mention. Well, he's teaching Michelle how to be a vampire. One of the people that she eats is him out of makeup.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, he's the fisherman that she ends up munching on. Yeah, get him, and
that's awesome.
It's him out of makeup is who she eats.
You know, and it's funny, I completely forgot that fact.
Oh yeah, no, so did I.
So there's a little, Easter egg for everybody out there because they were short one cast member because somebody was a little too thirsty.
Yummy. Oh yeah.
Mortimer showed up and said, "Ooh, they won't miss this one."
You know what I mean?
Or, did I pull them off to my sadistic dungeon of fun?
So that's where the power's been blipping.
Right. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
But that is our synopsis. That is our tribute to this fantastic franchise that unfortunately fucked up at the end. It's almost like the, what do you call it? The Batman syndrome. You have a bunch of good ones, and then, whoops,
pothole. It's like they're
bad
running along, they're keeping up in the vampiric race, and this pothole, whoo, down he goes.
Exactly. Yeah. So don't let the 5th one throw you off. The first 4, plus, in my opinion, the true 4th film, which is Vampire Journals, because Vampire Journals happens between Subspecies 3 and Subspecies 4. It happens right in the middle.
Yep.
So, thank you all so much out there in the Black Flame universe, all the addicts and demons, for showing up tonight. It has been awesome, and I'm so sorry. I would have put up a lot more comments, but they're kind of hard to do with my Shrek fingers, my bear paws on my phone, because you know what I mean? It's just kind of hard to keep up with. So I apologize for that. But thanks for hanging and banging with us tonight and celebrating one of the most sadistic vampires in film history and a true testament to indie horror. Because it was an indie horror company that made this franchise happen and cult classic icons. I mean, you know, you can't beat us because we are practical. We don't rely on millions of dollars to give you the best. And so passionate. And you guys are obviously passionate about this franchise as well. So definitely check out 1 through 4. Streaming. Where can we find them?
Oh, well, for the first Subspecies, you can find it on Prime and Roku. For
Prime and
Subspecies
Roku, right?
2, you can find it on Prime, Roku, and Plex, which is another free service. Subspecies 3, you can find on Prime, Roku, and again on Plex. For Vampire Journals, I have no idea.
That's okay. There is, and most of you may or may not know this, but there is an app for Full Moon Entertainment.
Yes, which is the only way you can see number 5.
It is, yes, it is currently the only way you could see the stinker. I mean,
yeah, so
the 5th film.
it gives you a reason to skip it.
It gives you a reason to skip it, but
and
it has
4 is on Prime and Roku.
Correct.
Yep. So a lot of Prime, a lot of Roku, a lot of Plex. They're out there, demons. So
and that's right, because when you tuck yourself into bed tonight, me and Morty are going to be hovering over you, going, "Watch Subspecies, or else." But definitely thank you, Lizzie, for giving us that list of the where to stream it. I knew it was on Prime, but it's awesome to see that this franchise is streaming on more than one platform. So guess what, addicts and demons? No excuses. You don't have to pay for it. And if you have Prime, you already pay for it. So who fucking cares? You don't have to rent it. So think about it tomorrow night as the weekend begins. And you're like, what exactly do I need to watch? And remember both of us in our faces and everything that you learned here tonight about the Subspecies franchise. And that it's time to get out that popcorn, maybe draw yourself a little Bloody Mary to go with, and watch Radu as he kicks your ass in every film. And always stay heavy.
Thank you for joining us on Rebirth Underground. Stay tuned for more from Black Flame Entertainment.